Look at him sunning it up here. What's happening, Tyler, lad?
How you doing, my man? You good?
No, mate, I'm jealous, mate. Fucking blazing sun.
Yeah, it's about 28 today. It's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie.
How we doing anyway, mate? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm just still settling in. I've been here about a month now. So yeah, just getting settled in and been training hard. It's been good. It's been good.
Yeah, tell us about, for the people who don't know, mate. Obviously, with your visa and that, what you've got now, and how you got it, and where you are now, pal.
Yeah, so obviously, a year and a half ago, I come over in Fort Lewis, Palomino. For the people who know what happened, obviously, I come over and done all the quarantining, couldn't bring my training team and everything else, and Palomino and his sponsor, Ralph at Florida Yachts International, they contacted me about 2 weeks after the fight and just said, look, we're fans of what you do and we want you to be part of our management. And they secured me a work visa for 3 years. So I'm out here learning with Luis Palomino's trainer, Eric L. Tigre Castellanos at Young Tigers. So yeah, it's like I say, just settling in and trying to make a new life for myself out here as well.
Yeah, wicked, mate. So tell us a day in the life of Tyler Goodjohn.
So at the minute, it's been like today, for example. I've been getting up pretty early, and I've been going along to Young Tigers. I've been doing my boxing training with my trainer El Tigre every day, 5-6 days a week. I've been doing pad work with him and everything else, just working on improvements. And like obviously I was out here in the summer for a few months, but that was, I got to have like 10-11 weeks with Tigre. So now we're just sort of picking up where we left off. And like I say, this morning I went there, done my pad work, and then in a couple of hours time I'm going to be back there doing a little bit of sparring, a little bit of drill work and stuff like that. So just keeping positive, mate. Just training twice a day at the minute. Luis Palomino's gone away on vacation. He comes back tomorrow, and then we see what's happening, see what's cracking in 2023. Hopefully get a fight sorted out. But yeah, at the minute, just like I say, just working on things with Tigre, really, like picking up where we left off in the summer. Obviously, we only got to have 10-11 weeks in the summer, and it's a very different style of boxing to what I'm used to back home. With the British boxing, to start with the Cuban footwork, and it's it can be quite difficult at times. So yeah, just sort of picking up where we left off, like I say.
Yeah, so I suppose it's a lot better as well, because you don't have the stress of all everything, because you've always wanted to be over there, haven't you? And I think you had a bit of stress getting sorted with your visa and stuff. And now, like, you're settled, like, and they say a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, like, literally getting this visa has been a process, man. It took well over a year to get the visa, the work visa. It cost a lot of money. It was a real process getting it. So there was a lot of anxiousness surrounding getting the visa. Will I get it? Won't I get it? And all that kind of stuff, because it's just not easy. It's just not easy getting a work visa here. The Americans are on it, man. They're only letting in the people that they want to let in. So that took a year. Finally I got the visa. And like anywhere, even if I was back home in England and I moved further up north, it's just getting settled in, meeting new people, getting to know all the people in my gym. And obviously I'm living with someone and things like that. So yeah, it took a few weeks, especially over Christmas, to sort of get settled. But yeah, my training's been good.
Yeah, cushy, mate. So have you heard anything in the pipeline about, or any opponents that have been shot at you that you possibly could be fighting?
I haven't, to be honest. It's been a bit I've been left in the dark a little bit. Really, since the last fight, I've not really heard a lot from BKFC. Obviously I was concentrating on just getting out here, but now I've been here training. I mean, I was training back home when I was in England, waiting to get out here. So I'm always fit and ready to fight. I should be speaking to Dave Feldman this week. We were sort of chatting over the weekend just via message, and he said he was going to contact me Tuesday and Wednesday and just sort of let me know what was going on, because obviously there's a UK show in March. So yeah, we'll see. I have said to Feldman in the past that, with this visa, I want to be fighting out in America. I want to be building my fan base out here. But I sort of feel like, when there's a UK show on, I'm a bit like, I want to be part of that as well. So we'll see what happens.
Do you have anyone in mind who possibly could be an opponent that you would fancy it with?
I'll be honest, Lou. I literally don't care who I fight, man. I don't. Like my last two fights, obviously I fought Palomino, and I had 15 months out, had major shoulder surgery, and I've come back against James Lee, another unbeaten opponent, and we had a fantastic fight. There's no one I really fear, to be fair. So whatever comes up. The 155-pound division is getting pretty stacked now. There's some good names over here in America, especially. So yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting few years ahead. There's some great fights that can be made.
Yeah. You're planning on just staying at the same weight?
Yeah, 100. I feel really good at 155 pounds. I do. It's not easy making 155, but when I get to it, I feel really strong. In the past, I've been guilty of messing things up with the weight. I used to have to make 10 stone or 140 pounds when I was boxing, and I'd done that for far too long, and in the end, my performances were lacking. But at 155, I feel strong, man. Like, I feel very strong. You can see it when I fight. I'm coming forward. It's going to take a hell of a force to stop me coming forward. So yeah, I just feel strong at that weight.
Yeah, like the thing is as well, like with you, like Danny Christie was saying it about himself the other night, where when we run like a mixed interview with a few of us on, where the stock of, like, I think it's like you will never go down, win or lose, because no matter who it is, you're always there to fucking fight till the end, no matter the situation. Like at Wembley, fucking crazy, mate. Like, you see the camera coming up you can't see a fucking thing, and the thing, he comes over and he's like, are you okay? And you're like, yep, sound.
Do you know what? Like, honestly, like, it's not till that situation, when something like that happens in a fight, where you really, really, really find out what you're made of. Do you know what I mean? Like that first round, I mean, it literally couldn't have gone any worse, that fight for me. That, like, the first 20 seconds, my left eye completely swelled over. And then the other eye, I got a little nick above it, so the blood was going in. So I had like 20% vision for about 3 rounds, until Jason Fielding, shout out Jason Fielding, who really sorted that cut out. For like 3 rounds, I was fighting completely blind, and there was never a moment in that fight. You can see when the doctor calls me over to look at my eye and that, I'm just going, yeah, I'm all right, I'm fine. And then they literally didn't ask me again the whole fight. They could see that I was all right with it. I've like literally, I've been having a few people been going, oh, you've lost your last 2 fights and all stuff like that. At the end of the day, I could have the prettiest record in the world like everyone else, but I choose to take the hardest fights available. So,
yeah,
do you know
definitely.
what I mean?
James Milley and Lewis Palomino, mate, definitely in the fucking
back to back unbeaten fighters. I could have a really pretty record like everyone else, but I choose to fight the best, and I'm a real fighter for that reason.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Have you always been like that, Tyler? Like, since your boxing days and that, have you always been like, bite down on your gum shield and just fucking go for it?
Yeah, I think, like, look, I'm from even as an amateur, I had like 70 fights. I won the ABAs, I got to the final, but I don't come from any kind of privilege. Like I say, I won the national title, I got to the final. I never got to box for England or nothing, because of where I was from. I just wasn't looked at. I was overlooked time and time again. I turned professional. Same again, you know, I wasn't signed to a big promoter, so that meant having to go on the road and take some big fights, you know. And you look at my pro boxing career, you know, on Box Rec or whatever, you look at my record and the guys that I fought, you know, I only had 18 fights. I boxed like 10 rounders. You know, it's just,
Yeah.
that's just what some of us have to do. Do you know what I mean? Unless we've got a dad that was a famous boxer or rich parents or whatever, some of us have to go on the road and graft and take fights that, you know, we're perhaps not ready for or whatever. But you know, when it comes to it now, at the age I am now, I don't fear nothing because I've had to do it all my career.
Yeah. And you know, with the BKFC, you're allowed to do. I think you're allowed to do gloved as well, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah,
Have you,
like yeah. So
have you
that
seen what Elvin Burrito and Jomi Escobar's and that have done? I always
yeah.
thought you'd be good in that format as well.
Where was that? Is that over in Russia?
In Russia, mate. Yeah, I think it would be good for you. That.
What is it? Is it boxing in like an octagon style thing? Is it?
No, it's in a ring. I think
Oh right, okay, okay. Yeah, I
it's
see.
just professional boxing. I think.
Right, okay, yeah, yeah. That's definitely something that look, I'm open to doing. 1,000,000%. You know, the one thing about being out here, and again, the trouble with bare knuckle is like it's a job to stay, especially the way I fight. It's a job to stay active because you know everyone knows I'm a come forward, bring the fight to you, and at the end of the day, that does cause facial damage. So that takes a little bit of time to get over. So perhaps that, you know, boxing, no, perhaps won't get the facial damage. So it means I can be you know, stay a little bit more active. But yeah, we'll just see what comes up. I mean, I do love the bare knuckle. I do. I really enjoy it. But yeah, I want to stay active out here as well. And going back to boxing, I haven't, you know, I got my license taken away from me like 5 years ago. So it'd be quite a cool thing to go back to boxing, box out here, box in Russia. Yeah, we'll see.
I think it's fucking crazy how you got your license took off you through like the weight cut thing that you've done, and you've got them debating now whether Conor Ben should keep his license or not.
Honestly, it's just like, again, it just boils down to the fact that, you know, I was the little man. You know, no one cared about me. I wasn't making enough money for the British Border Control to really give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, they made an example of me and revoked my license, took my license away from me. But that just shows, you know, the power of the big person versus the small person. You know, Conor Ben, with all the money that he's making the British Border Control, I can't see him losing his license. That's not going to happen because everyone wants to make money. You know, Eddie Hearn wants to make money. The British Border Control want to make money. So money talks, baby. That's what happens.
Yeah. What do you think of the state of the boxing now, mate?
I'm fed up of it. I mean, to be honest, I don't really watch any boxing anymore. You know, like I say, if I'm gonna watch some kind of combat sport, it's either BKFC or MMA now. I'm very much, you know, getting into my MMA. I'm not going to try and say that I know lots about it because I don't. But you know, I've started getting into it, and they're killers, man. Like you look at UFC, the best fight the best. It's a great sport. It's a really good sport, and boxing now. I mean, you know, you can't even really debate with people because, you know, I sort of talk about the whole social media fighting and stuff like that. And, you know, you've got big people out there that are really, you know, that they're loving it as well and promoting it and stuff like that. So you can't really argue with people. It's just it's a waste of time. You know, I've sort of had arguments with people debating online about, look, you know, there's fighters much better than myself out there that deserve the spotlight over Jake Paul, KSI, and all these other people, but you just can't argue with these people. They're just like, no, it's great. It's great for the sport, brings a new audience and everything else. But they're forgetting about all the fighters that have been doing it since they were 9, 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame. I think it's a shame. Like, you know, I'd like to I'd like to hear the thoughts of like people like Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, all them absolute historic greats, what they would have thought of the state of boxing today. Do you know what I mean? Like people defending their world titles on the undercard of Jake Paul doing an 8-rounder against a 50-year-old MMA fighter. I just think it's a fucking joke, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's mental, mate. Like
money talks, doesn't it? Wherever there's money, or wherever there's money to be made.
Yeah, of course.
People are going to do it. So, yeah.
It put the icing on the cake for me. I think I said it to you before with the Taylor Catwell fight. I wasn't like a massive supporter of Jack Catwell or anything. I was just a boxing fan watching the fight, and I swear to God, mate, I had a feeling he was going to get it took off. And when he did, I was fucking heartbroken for him, man. I thought all them belts have just been robbed from him. He was making history his full life, and he's never ever going to get that opportunity again. He should have been able to take him to court and fucking. Do you know what I mean? Like, watch this fight in fucking court with 100 fucking judges, and tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's just, you know. So, I mean, you can talk about it in soccer or whatever. You know, it's money kills sport, doesn't it? No, it's not about the love for the game anymore and all that. It's about, you know, it's about money, and that's the top and bottom of it. You know, as long as everyone's earning, it's going to carry on.
Yeah, that's why I love the bare knuckle, mate. It's just straight to it, innit? It's not like all this fucking about with different promoters against other fighters and fucking all the business side of it.
Same like with the UFC, you know, like UFC, you know, that it's massive fights, and you know, boxing can't be surprised that you know, that it's getting overtook by MMA now and bare knuckle. I really do think the way that boxing acts now is just going to allow bare knuckle to grow and get massive, because people are just fed up of it, man. They're fed up of, like, here the other day we were going to watch the Gervonta Davis fight, and we had we signed up to Showtime, and it was like $11 a month for Showtime, and then you had to pay another $75 for a pay-per-view to watch Gervonta Davis. And you're like, $75 when I've just signed up $11 a month, like. You're just robbing people. Do you know what I mean?
What you're paying $11 a month for?
Yeah,
like, doesn't make sense.
It's just robbing people. So, you know, and the thing is, I try to explain this to people about boxing. You know, one thing about boxing is, all right, okay, you got your Gervonta Davis, your Floyd Mayweathers, your Canelo Alvarez, and all these guys who are making, Tyson Fury making absolute cake. But then there's no middle. They're like down the bottom. There's people making 500 quid a fight. Do you know what I mean? There's no middle ground. So, there's no consistency to the money or anything else. You're either making unbelievable amounts of money or you're not making any money at all. And I really don't see the, you know, what the inspiration to become a professional boxer now. You know, to know, like, if a fighter come up to me 19, 20, 21 and said, look, I'm thinking of turning professional, I'm going to go, look, you've got a lot of tickets, you're not going to make a lot of money, you're going to have to put in a hell of a lot of work. There's no real motivation for it in my book, not unless, like, you're obviously coming from a real big social media background. That's the only reason to turn pro.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It's why, like, even in the bare knuckle now, the age that are doing the bare knuckle's just getting younger and younger and younger. I think there was a teenager doing it not long ago in the BKFC, wasn't a 19-year-old?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I think, like, you know, give it 5 years, people, or even now, like, I know that they're having the tryouts all over America, and people are just going, you know, they're not necessarily coming from boxing or MMA or kickboxing. They're just going, do you know what? I want to be a bare knuckle fighter. And they're trying specifically to be a bare knuckle fighter. So that's going to be cool. You know, give it 5 years. Like I say, you're just going to get people that, you know, I don't want to be a boxer. I don't want to be an MMA fighter. I want to be a bare knuckle fighter. That's how it's going to go down.
And it's the bare knuckle needs characters like yourself, Lorenzo Hunt, Conatini, and all these other names that have characters. Do you know what I mean? They need people like that to build the sport.
Yeah, of course it does. Like controversy obviously sells as well. You need controversial characters in sport, but you need them guys that are just gonna fight anyone.
Yeah.
The fighters at the end of the day, the guys that aren't scared to take a hard fight, aren't scared to go to someone's backyard and fight them. You need them people because boxing is not like that.
When you first come over for America for your BKFC debut, did you imagine yourself living over there?
To be honest, like the first fight against Fenley, I mean, it was it was just honestly, it was so much carnage. Obviously, we had to quarantine in Dubai to get into America, and then I was in Vegas on my own. Then I got COVID, and not really. I mean, I loved America at that point, but I hadn't really thought too much about it. And then obviously, the second time when I come over to Miami and I fought here, it was all. I've always just wanted to do my best. You know what I mean? I've always just wanted to make myself or do myself proud. And then, a couple of weeks after the fight, when I got a phone call from Luis Palomino and Ralph saying, look, they wanted to bring me over and wanted me to be part of the management, that was when I was like, do you know what? This is all them risks are paid off. And I made myself proud. But yeah, I wouldn't have said that. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna move to America. But it's a funny old thing, life, isn't it? It's funny what happens.
Yeah, it is, mate. And are you planning on, obviously, once you're properly settled in and that, are you planning on traveling America?
Yeah, I want to see different states and things like that. I want to, like I said earlier, I want to be fighting in different states as well. One thing I will say, which is really it has shocked me a little bit. I'm well known, man, in Miami. I mean, it's been a bit madness, really, like going about and I've been to places like Wynwood and down South Beach, and I've got people come up to you wanting photos and everything. I literally had a guy. It's crazy. I had a guy stop in the middle of the road. It was like a dual carriageway, so everyone's going that one way, and he just stopped in the middle of the road, reversed over to the side of me, and was like, Tyler Goodjohn, I want a photo. And I was just like, well, mad, like, and I went down to South Beach and I went on Muscle Beach, and there must have, there was like 3 people that wanted a photo with me and everything else. They love their fighting here, man. They love it. Like Miami's, it's like, I suppose it kind of like stems from like the Kimbo Slice days and all that. It's like they love their bare knuckle here, man. It's like it's become the home of it a little bit.
Yeah, it must be a good feeling though, recognising with all the hard work that you put into the bare knuckle, mate. Because obviously you've been a big name and like one of the first names when you to build a big character up in the bare knuckle. It was pretty much under wraps, wasn't it? The bare knuckle at first, and then it bears through.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, and people can say what they want and dislike me for it, but at the end of the day, I am the UK pioneer of this sport. No, I went over there twice and fought on my own, and you've got. I don't think many fighters can even comprehend doing that. Going over, spending 15 days in a different country, training all by yourself, then going into the hometown heroes and fighting them. Even when I fought Fenley, I come out, everyone's USA, USA, shouting and screaming and booing me and everything else. It was a thing. Do you know what I mean? It was a challenge, and
I've watched the videos of you on because you're basically just like that, aren't you, to everyone and fucking. But what you're feeling inside though, then Tyler, when you're there on your own, mate, and everyone's just booing you, and you're like they hate you because you're English and they're American, and how does it feel?
Do you know what? It was crazy with the Fenley fight. I literally I got COVID 2 weeks before, because at the time Mark Godbeard was out with me in Vegas. He was meant to fight as well, and we both got COVID. And he actually ended up in hospital. He got double pneumonia on his lungs, and I didn't end up training for like about 5-6 days. But at that point, I'd already been to Dubai. I'd been training in Vegas for about a month. I'd spent so much money. I was like, do you know what? I have to fight. I've got no choice. I'm fighting. So I actually went to a medic spot, right? This is the first time I've told this story. just because I wasn't too sure if I could or not. But I had Christine Ferrer next to me. She was helping me and Mark a lot when we were out in Vegas, and I got Q-tips and I sprayed disinfectant on the end of Q-tips, and I've literally scrubbed all my nose out, gone into the medic spot, got a negative test. Boom! Like 5 days out from the fight, that allowed me to fly to Mississippi, and I've gone and fought Fenley, and I've put. To be fair to myself, I put on a show. I went there. I wore netted Versace pants in the weigh-in and everything else. Again, booing me and didn't know who the fuck I was. Like, who the fuck is this UK guy? Come over in a multicoloured dressing gown and netted Versace pants. Okay, it wasn't my best performance ever, but do you know what? Under the circumstances, to come away with a unanimous win against an absolute legend of the game. Yeah, man, I just proved it again. I just proved how much heart, how much determination I've got, and just paved the way for the rest of us.
Yeah, I bet as well when the fight started, they were like, "Oh, the fuck's this one?" Because you had your hands down, didn't you? And you dropped him straight away.
I mean, look, obviously, it was my American debut, even though of all the madness that went on having COVID and everything else, I wanted to go in there and put a show on. You know, I wanted to have a fight. And to be honest, Fenley didn't want to fight. He just wanted to go on his back foot and try and counter me. So it was quite an ugly fight, really, because, you know, you had one guy pushing the fight, and then the other one, you know, he was just stepping back on his back foot, just trying to look for that one shot. So it was quite an ugly fight, but yeah, you know, obviously got the win, and that led me on to the next fight against Palomino then.
Yeah, and with this BKFC 37 that's happening in London, what have you seen the card for it yet?
Well, I've seen obviously the main event with Connor, and I've seen a few of the other fights and that. So yeah, it'll be a good show. It's going to be a good show, and like I said, like I sort of, as much as I want to fight here in America, I kind of do feel like, yo, hey, there can't be a UK show without El Tornado. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it's going to be a good card. Whatever. Obviously, they're building their brand over there as well. So it's just going to get bigger and bigger. More like, even after the last show at Wembley, it was a really good show, and people are just going mad for BKFC now.
Yeah, it was, mate. It was unbelievable. Expect that Wembley show as well, mate. Even the Newcastle one. Did you watch the Newcastle show?
Newcastle show, yeah, it was a good show. I thought Mick Terrell fought really well. I thought he looked really good, actually. Yeah, no, it was a good show. And yeah, it's only going to expand. I actually spoke to James Lilly. Me and James get on well, man. I like James. He's a good guy. Obviously, we've spoke a lot since the fight, and we've sort of said, look, you know, if BKFC go to Wales, I'd love to go over there and fight him in Wales. I think it'd be great. So, you know, that's an option that perhaps BKFC wouldn't mind doing as well. Yeah, man. I want to fight in Thailand. I want to fight anywhere.
So, I mean, they're only going to expand as well, and getting different countries. I can see it happening in Dubai soon, not long.
And they're really getting, they're drawing some big names, man. Like they signed that Austin Trout,
yeah,
world champion and that. So, you know, people are starting to see this sport now and go, do you know what? This is getting big. They're really taking it seriously with all these former boxing world champions coming over now. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be good at this. I was chatting earlier with a few people at my gym and with my trainer, and just said, look, you know, bare knuckle isn't boxing, isn't MMA. It's its own entity. It's its own thing. So yeah, you know, just because these world champions are coming over doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do well. But obviously, it brings a whole new audience with
the likes of Jamie Cox and that as well, because he's got a massive name in UK boxing. He'll turn the heads of a few, won't he, in the boxing game?
Yeah, I like Jamie a lot. Me and Jamie stay in contact a lot. I like him a lot, and actually he actually contacted me about doing bare knuckle. That's how he really got into it. I was chatting to him and saying, look, you know, get into bare knuckle. It's a growing sport now, you know, and I think for him, especially obviously he's lost the love of boxing, and he needs something else to get that fire back. And I think bare knuckle's perfect for that, because like the way I felt before my first bare knuckle fight, I'd been in massive title fights as a professional boxer, but it's different bare knuckle. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen. So it will definitely get that fire back for people who are looking for it.
Yeah. What is it that you actually love about the bare knuckle, Tyler? Is it just the whole adrenaline rush?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of them where like now boxing just seems a bit too tame. And I mean, and that sounds really disrespectful, because boxing is one of the hardest sports in the world, without a doubt. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
when you fight without them gloves, man, it's just like, well, you see what people look like after a fight. It's just, and that's only 5 2-minute rounds. Like it's a different game, man. Like, where with boxing, you can get hit with a couple of jabs, and nothing may not happen. You won't get cut or nothing. But bare knuckle, one jab, one hook, anything, and like I say, like my last fight, closes your eye, causes a massive gash over your eye with the blood going in your eye, and then it becomes a totally different fight. Then you just got to adjust at that point.
yeah. As well, like a fighter can have a lot of damage and not really be as hurt as the other fighter who's hardly got no damage, because a lot of bare knuckle fighters have scar tissue on that donor, and anything can just open a clinch. Just rubbing heads together can open a cut up.
I mean, I've been fighting 21 years now, so when people say to me, "Oh, Goodjohn cuts easy," and I go, "Well, yeah, I should think so. I've had like nearly 100 fights now. That's I've been fighting a hell of a long time now, and the fact that it's bare knuckle obviously makes it a hell of a lot worse. But I've been in some wars, man. Like, people have only probably seen the wars I've had in bare knuckle. I was in some real wars as a boxer as well. So, yeah, scar tissue is a thing. Again, so now, like, working going forward with my new gym, obviously they want to keep the tornado, the excitement, always in great fights, but at the same time, let's get hit a little bit less.
Danny Christie has just asked in the comments, as Tyler gave himself a date when he's going to pack in.
Do you know what? I sort of have. I've sort of said to myself that, well, 35, 36, I'm going to give. I've got a 3-year work visa right here. And in all honesty, I think another 3 years, I think I'll have had enough of the fight game. It's a bit of a mental battle at times. Do you know what I mean? So I think, another 3 years, that's going to be 24 years of fighting. If I haven't done what I want to do by the time I'm 35, 36, let's face it, I'm not going to do it. So, yeah, I think that's, another 3 years, get this work visa, see what happens. I've definitely got a BKFC title in me. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's when you at that end of that 3 year though, you could still feel as fighting fit as ever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could, yeah, definitely. You don't know where you're going to be in 3 years. You don't, but like for I've been, like I say, it's been an emotional battle, a mental battle more than anything. Being in the fight game, obviously, I've been passed around trainers and promoters, and I got banned from boxing. Then I went into bare knuckle. Then I've gone to America. It's people. It's emotionally, it's very taxing. It's stressful. As much as I absolutely love the fighting, I don't love the politics that surround the game. I just don't. And when you've been in it as long as what I have, and you've seen what I've seen, it sort of leaves a bit of a bad taste in your mouth at times. But yeah, I'll give myself another 3 years, see this work visa through, and then we'll see where I'm at.
Cushy, bro. And what's it like, the bare knuckle over there? Because I know it's a lot more bigger fan wise, and like it's a lot more recognized. And like when they're selling the merch and at the events, they've got queues fucking miles long buying the merch and that.
Honestly, it's huge. It's massive, man. I can't I can't really tell you how big it is. You sort of got to come and see it yourself. It's like I say, I can be walking down. I was literally walking down the street in West Miami, which is locals of Miami, traditional Cuban Spanish, and I've got a guy stopped in the middle of the road shouting, "Tyler Goodjohn, I want a photo." And you're thinking, mad. It is mad. Like how much people love the bare knuckle over here. So it's just like we're in that transition period where back in the UK with BKFC coming, but it will be as big back in the UK as it is here one day. But it's just it's just getting that audience.
Yeah, it'll definitely be like they say it's like the UFC when it started, don't they? And I really do see it going that way in a couple of years, like it being on TV and that Sky Sports and shit like that.
Yeah, I think that most casual fight fans just want to see knockdowns, knockouts, blood, and look, BKFC delivers that. Like boxing,
Nothing more realer, is there?
yeah, like as much as I appreciate, like I always used to love watching Floyd Mayweather because his skill set was just it was great to watch. But most casual fans hate watching Floyd Mayweather because he's very defensive and he's quite negative times. The casual boxing fan doesn't like watching Floyd Mayweather. He wants to watch someone who's going in there and just going hell for leather, and fighting. That's what they want to see. And bare knuckle does deliver that. You have to at some point in the fight, you're gonna have to stand and fight, um, and that's the cool thing about it.
And I won't keep you too long, mate, as you're soaking it up there. But is there anything else you want to share with us, Tyler, before we wrap it up, bro?
Yeah, I just want to thank my sponsors back home. I've had some really, really, really loyal sponsors. Like I say, in the last year, it's been a testing time for me, man. I lost my business and I lost I lost a hell of a lot of money in that business, and these sponsors stuck by me, um, helping me out monthly to obviously get myself out here. Um, so without them, Daniel Lawrence Plumbing and Heating and Lawson Civil Engineering, without them, this dream wouldn't be possible. And just another big shout out as well to my mum and dad as well, because I'm very lucky in the fact that I've got probably quite mad parents that they support me as much as they do, but they've stuck by me, man. And again, that without that support, um, I don't know where I'd be. I definitely wouldn't be out here, living the dream. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
Custy, bro. Danny Christie's put, tell Tyler I'm a massive fan. Maybe it's about time he followed me back on Instagram.
So I like Danny a lot. We were actually chatting by the pool in that the Radisson where we stayed in Wembley. And he's a lovely guy, man, and he's going to be a big name in this bare knuckle. He's looking good, man. He's just got a very friendly style as well. So you can see why the audience just love him. Do you know what I mean? He comes forward. He has a fight. Um, Man of my own heart. So yeah, Danny, I love you too, man. I love your style as well, bro. And I'm excited to watch you fight again.
Yeah, because about time you followed me back on Instagram, Danny, anyways, you twat. But yeah, mate, any sponsors and that you want to give a big up to?
Yeah, well, like I said, I've just done my sponsors from back home, but like more than anything, another big shout out to Florida Yachts International, Ralph Navarro, who's obviously put all the belief in the world in me to bring me out here and have a 3-year work visa, and the man himself, Luis Palomino. He's been so good to me, so good to me. Um, he's like I say, he's back home for his vacation tomorrow, and we're going to sit down and he wants me to build a new life here. He can see that, I've been a bit down on my luck at times in life, and he wants to see me do well. And you know what? Like, that's just a cool thing, man. Like, when another fighter can just see that another fighter needs opportunities and he's there to provide it for them. Yeah, man, it's all love. Yeah. Where you going?
Don't know what the fuck's happened there, like. It went off. Sorry about that, people. Fuck's sake. Nightmare. It's a lost connection for internet or something. But yeah, I was just going to say there, fucking, I was really happy for him getting his visa and that and settling in over there. It's good to see, man. I'm buzzing for him and can't wait to see him out next. Here he is. There he is.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I was just going to say there, mate. I was really happy for you when I seen you on Instagram getting your visa and that, mate. And I'm buzzing for you, mate. I'm happy to see you and can't wait to see you next outing. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lou. Yeah, hopefully, like I say, I should find out in the next week, you know, what's going on and that. If it means coming back to the UK, it'd be great to come back and see everyone and catch up with everyone properly, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, sweet, bro. We'll stay in touch, mate, like always. And when you get some news and that, or whenever you want to jump on, mate, we'll do it anytime, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you very much for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, Tyler. Take care, mate, and have a good day.
Too. You too, man. See you soon.
Ta-ra, bro. Respect everyone for jumping in. Got better than normal finishing at the end there. Hey, come back. But in the Red Corner podcast, big up my bro. And anyone who's doing all the fight things like me is going to be doing interviews soon. So head over to his channel and give him a follow. Big up David Round. Can't wait to see him out against Teddy Brazier, BKFC 37 London. Ashley Worsley, big up. Darren Smith. James Cooper from Bloodsport, big up Bloodsport team. Paul Venice, big up my brother. Darren Smith, who else have we got? Pab, the real Danny that I won't swear. TB Christie, D Money, Matt Barnett's Corrugated Iron Kitchen, big up. Michael Dawson, Marty Barnes, Few Rose City Gaming. David Round again. Big up everyone. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night. God bless.